So what's up? We're back. We are back. All right, so today we are going to drop the subframe. Per the recommendation of Spencer Anderson, I got oven cleaner and degreaser. That's what he said works well for oxidation. The AMSoil stuff was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it worked better than nothing, I suppose. So what we got to do now is we have to go inside of this Civic. You gotta get in there and then all the way, I don't know if you can see it, but get that off so that we can drop the rack. So that's the first thing. Alright, so the reason that was upside down is because, as you saw, that little yoke over there is in a very awkward spot. But we got it. You can see the bolts are out. So, ready to go. I'm going to drop that subframe now. Alright, I had to stop the music again because YouTube is a bunch of Nazis. But, yeah, look at how clean that is. This is after letting it sit for a little bit. These still haven't been clean. But, like, look at that exhaust port. That was black before. And that was black before. And now it's silver. So, we're going to keep hitting it with some oven cleaner. Spencer is the man. Knows this stuff way better than the AMSoil, way cheaper. Thank you, Spencer, again. And we got Papa Ant here now with some good beer. What is that?
I have no idea. You got it.
Drecker Brewing. Anthony came over. He helped me out with some stuff with the kerosene heater, and he needed some help with his axles. So what we're doing right now is Hondas have problems with their axles. The CVs like to seize up when you have crappy grease in them and when they're crappy aftermarket ones. So what we do is we try to find OEM ones and then we rebuild them because the OEM ones are the best. There are companies out there that do supply like aftermarket high quality axles and stuff. I like to use the OEM ones personally. I've never had a problem with OEM. I've been running OEM for a long time. But now, so what we're doing is we're taking apart these OEM axles. And so Anthony just got finished taking that boot off of the outer joint. And that is for the driver's side axle, I believe. And
Passenger.
that is a passenger, you're right, yeah. And so he's cleaning off the old grease, and then we are going to knock this off, and we're going to put red line in it and put new boots, and then we're going to put axle vents in there. So the axle vents are going to allow the boot to compress and expand while not having any effect on the grease. And supposedly it does make a difference. You were going to say something?
I forgot my CV2.
Oh, I have CV2.
Okay. I'll have to give it back to you.
All right. There you go. That's it. Yep, see? There you go. And then now we can pull the bearings out and put them in the little container that I got you in front of you.
There.
Oh no!
Oh, the G35. Oh no!
She's angry because she hasn't been driven. Now I'm angry because I have to go under it and get it. Alright. You got what? How many in there? How many more?
2 left.
2 left? Okay, go. And then that one. Yep. And then the balls come out. And then you gotta clean it. Now we have CV2 to put in there. Camera not focusing. There we go. So why don't you show everyone what we're dealing with right now?
Yeah, so if I get this back apart.
Yeah, slide it out sideways and wiggle it.
Yeah. I guess.
All right, so that's the open side. That's the side that goes in facing down.
This side goes down.
Well, yeah, so that side goes down, and that side, yeah, so that side is the upside. And then we can tell that that is the upside as well. So now, if you don't remember how you took things apart when you're taking apart a transmission or an axle, and you don't, especially if you don't have a service manual, you have to use sense. So what we did, common sense is funny in this garage. So common sense. We didn't use common sense when we were trying to take this apart at first because we were trying to pull the balls out while it was still in the axle shaft because I forgot how to take these apart. So we were trying to knock this cage down so we could get the balls out. And so you can see there's damage here, which means this part was exposed. So this is the upside here. And then if you look here, there's splines, and then there's a groove for a circlip. That circlip is on the shaft. And Tony was saying, well, if it sits like this with the circlip on my little middle finger over here, then there's not going to be enough room to grab. But if it sits over here, then it will grab, which is true. So, you know, that's what that circlip is supposed to do, that circlip groove. So we basically figured it out using common sense after we took it apart and forgot what we were doing. So, yep. So we're at now. Now we got to clean these balls. Gotta clean your balls. And then we got to put the CV2 in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And the beauty of having the vents is you can load these up with grease like as much as you want, and then if you have too much grease, it'll just squirt out the vents. So don't even need to really measure. I mean, I put a lot of grease in, and then whatever I don't need just goes out the vents. So this is what the inside of an outside of an axle looks like, and what Tony's doing right now. Wait, so there are also inside and outside boots. Make sure that is the right boot because there's a short one and a long one. Anyway. So what we did was we, rotated the cage and put the balls in here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here, kind of like a star pattern. Got it full of CV2. What happens is as the boot compresses, the vent allows any air and grease to escape. But this is totally gooped up in grease, so we're ready to go. And then on the engine front, this is what a cylinder head looks like after you hit it with oven cleaner. Thank you so much, Spencer. This looks amazing. It looks so good. It looks as good as you can get basically without a parts washer. And I really need a parts washer. So, and if you guys watching out there want to send me a parts washer, I'm your boy. But yeah, so it's a mess right now trying to figure out what we got to do. There are 2 different boot sizes, so we got to figure out whether one of these boots are the outside or the inside, and then once we figure that out, we'll put the appropriate boot on. And you got to clean this outside really well, because otherwise the boot won't seal, and you got to clean the outside of the axle really well as well, so the boot won't seal. And then we'll slide the vent in, put some RTV on it, put the band on, and we'll be good. All right, so still a mess, obviously, but we got the outer joint done on this axle. It's tight. So now, I have run axles like this before, and I've seen people run axles with clearances like that before, and they've been fine. I personally don't like that, but there's nothing we can do, so we're just going to run it. But for reference, this is another OEM axle, and we see. You get the idea. Ready for action. But yeah, so while Tony's doing that, he's making noise. We're gonna clean these valves now in this pan. So head's all clean. We're gonna do the valves now. So right now, Tony is cleaning up the burrs on the end of the vent that he's gonna be using on his axles. That pipe is, you can get the hypodermic needle, or you can get a small tube from McMaster Carr. I got hypodermic sized needles from Amazon at the time. And I think I lost my needles actually, but yeah, so these are a little bit bigger than mine. But, cut it about an inch long or inch and a half long, and then use that as the vent. All right, so Anthony is getting started on his second axle. His first axle is somewhere in the ether over here, but it came out good. And so right now, we're going to go on to the second one. This is a learning experience for him, and this is a refresher for me because I haven't done this in a while. But we're going to follow the same exact procedure as before. Pop this outer joint off, pop the inner joint off. The inner joint on the old one was actually full of emulsified grease, so that means that water got into it. I got to turn this music off. Hold on. All right, so hopefully YouTube doesn't give me a copyright, John, but they probably will, but I really don't even care because I don't monetize any of my videos. But yeah, so there's the driver side inner joint, and then Anthony's cutting the boot off of the outer one now. We're going to knock that off, and we're going to re-grease this. Like I said, this one had emulsified grease on the other one. Means that water got in. It happens. This grease looks pretty good. It was like light brown. It was like milkshake before the other one. And then at the same time, I am cleaning my valves. You can see these exhaust valves are mint after I went over them with a wire brush. I brushed mainly just the throats of them, not the actual seats, because I didn't want to score them. The seats on the cylinder head came out pretty dang good. This could probably use a lap job. I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to. It's stupid and I don't like doing things. But yeah, for sure. Next time, anytime I'm taking a head apart to this degree, I'm just taking it to a machine shop. I'm just gonna have them hot tank it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this oven cleaner, cut it open, and just dump the entire thing in here and let it sit overnight, and then just clean it again. Over here on the Civic front, we have the old subframe dropped. That was easy, 4 bolts. I took the rack out, and now we have no subframe. So we're gonna put the Integra subframe in, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. But I gotta clean it up first. As you can see, a lot of dirt down here, a lot of dirt over here, and that's all from just being a dumbass, you know, and getting dirt everywhere, and oil everywhere. But also some undercoat came up into the bay when this OEM car was sprayed with undercoat. So we're gonna get that off, and then we're going to continue putting it back together. But yeah, so Ant is getting started on the second one. I'm gonna help him with that. And we're done for tonight. Tony just left. We got stuff sort of cleaned up over there, and we're just letting the valves soak. And oh no, I almost died. Soak. Anyway, peace out, y'all.